Just getting started or feeling stuck? Wherever you're at, the VO Dojo is here to help you take your voiceover career all the way. Get the training, support, and connection you need to guide you every step of the way. From I don't know to working pro. You get a rock-solid foundation and all the tools you need for your sustained, successful voiceover career. Mindset, skill set, and real-world experience, all in a hands-on, hearts-in, supportive community. Join us at thevodojo.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to the VO Dojo 21 Questions. I am Tish Hicks. I'm the Master Sensei of the VO Dojo here in Burbank, California, and I am so excited to be joined by Laya Hoffman as our upcoming guest sensei for Ask the Sensei. But we're here to ask Laya a couple questions so that we know about her and her journey, and then she can answer our questions later. So Laya, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks, Tish. It's such a pleasure. What you guys have been doing for years with the dojo, 10 years, if I'm not mistaken.
15, I think, this
15!
year. Yeah,
Oh, my
started
goodness.
in 2011, officially.
What an
Yeah.
unbelievable resource you've created for talent, both in the beginner or intermediate level and for us pros. So thank you so much for having me. It's truly an honor to be with you today.
Great. Well, let's start with the first question. What's your one-word check-in for today?
Grateful. Gratitude. Always.
Can't
Can't be thriving in this life without it. So I am here for that today and always.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been thinking a lot about the practice of gratitude and how much it is really part of growing a thriving business, of being
Yeah.
able to maintain through the slings and arrows of everything, but also it's kind of becomes the attractor. So that's
You have
cool.
to be a magnet to manifest.
Mhm.
And in this career, it takes a healthy dose of it, as you well know. So I'm glad. What's your one word?
Oh, let's see. It's sometimes I make up German words for this,
Oh,
like many words together. Peopleicious.
I
Peopleicious. I just had a coffee with a new voiceover friend that we connected. I was like, let's have coffee. So I'm such a we'll get to your version of this, but I'm such a freaking extrovert. I'm like, people, I can go and go and go.
peopleicious.
So peopleicious. That's like that energy that comes from the connection. So
I love it.
yeah,
Yes, that's one of the reasons we connect, I'm sure. So
yeah, yeah.
great one.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go. So question 2, where are you from?
I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Me too.
I know. That's the other reason we connect. Midwest babes are some of the best, I feel like. Yep. I was born and raised outside the city in the suburbs, northwest suburbs, but went to
Mhm.
college down in the city. And I don't know,
Where
city's in
did
my
you go to
soul for
school?
sure. Columbia College in
Columbia.
Chicago
Cool, cool,
for
cool.
radio broadcasting. So
Fantastic. I went to Northwestern, and my son's back in Chicago going to Loyola, so it all
incredible.
comes full circle. Yeah. Where do you live now?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, wow. Excellent. How long have you been living in Atlanta?
Too long.
Oh, look at the
If it
time.
was up to me and only me, I probably would not still be here, but we've built a beautiful life, my husband and I and our daughter. And his family is here. It's where he's from. And,
Hmm.
while I don't necessarily love the politics in the South, where we're at right now is a very happy, comfortable, loving community and space. And we've built a gorgeous home with a pretty badass studio. And so we're here until the child moves on.
This is good. This is good. Um, what would we know your voice from?
That's a good question. As much as I wish I could like stake a claim in a big character or as like a notable campaign voice, right now I'm just loving the jobs that I have, and I'm grateful for those jobs. I'm currently voicing some Dupixent campaigns,
Hmm.
also Eli Lilly campaigns that have been in the market for a while. I've been lucky enough to be the voice of Delta Airlines and their live shows as their number one live announcer for the last 5 years, which is my favorite job of all. and then promos as well. So
Mhm.
I'm doing some promos for CNN now, which I'm really
Wow.
happy about. I was the first official female voice of the NHL network, which is breaking through some
Even more
glass
now,
ceilings for
right? Like,
females in sports, and that's near and dear to my heart. So, yeah, I have an opportunity mostly working in commercial and promos and live announce, and those are my sweet spots, and I'm super grateful for that.
fantastic, fantastic. How long have you been doing voiceover?
I had to actually do some math because I was like, that can't be true. But I've been doing voiceover for 27 years now, since I was 20 years old. So go ahead and do that math. Um,
Because
yeah,
it's
I started.
voiceover. It doesn't matter how old we are.
Exactly. We have a face for radio. Um, No, I've just loved it. I went to school for radio broadcasting at Columbia in Chicago. I didn't actually finish my education and graduate. I moved out to the middle of nowhere, and we'll probably get to that here. But I took a job on the radio when I was in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. And
Mhm.
as you know, back then when we were splicing tape together and editing reels on the radio, you were also doing all the voiceover for all the commercial campaigns and doing pre-records and things like that. And yeah, I had part of my origin story started from there. So
Wow.
officially 27 years.
57 years. At the
Now I feel
dojo,
old.
I always talk about broadcast being like the cousin of voiceover.
Yeah,
Like if you went to spend the weekend at your cousin's house, it would be family, you'd be welcome, you'd feel at home, but the rules are a little different.
totally different. Yeah,
So you're comfortable like a broadcast person will always hit 30 seconds. A broadcast person
yes,
will never let the energy going through the lines stop. Like there's so many if you're
correct.
totally comfortable on the mic, there's so many skills that are like, oh yeah, and then so many things that need to be
Yeah.
adapted
Yeah.
as
Oh,
well. So,
I had to train rigorously with Nancy Wolfson actually to
mhm,
scrape the radio off because
mhm,
I really thought for a time early in my voiceover specific career that, my voice was this precious sound. And what I realized after several beatings, uh,
Nancy was my first agent, so
oh, wow.
I totally know the rigor.
Yeah, and she's one of my closest friends today and still a
Mm,
coach. But yeah, it really takes a different mindset and a different approach psychologically to voiceover, and all the different
mm,
genres they have a tweak. So I'm glad I have that experience. I think that I was getting paid for voice work, so that's
mhm.
officially when it began. But
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't know it was a career until much later.
Interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
Now, who is your current team? And I will let you define what that means to you.
Well, my number one cheerleader is my husband. My backup cheerleader is my daughter, 𝗧𝗶𝗺, who's also
Mhm,
a professional voice talent. They're my home team for sure. And
mhm.
my cute dogs who are passed out next to me here in the studio. But my support team in the business is I'm proudly represented by Atlas in New York and LA. The entire team there has been, I mean, just what a pivotal point for my career. Superstars, all of them. And so that's very nice to have. But, I finally feel lucky enough to be at the point where I have um, accountants and people that handle my books and a virtual assistant and, a lot of different people to help with marketing and my CRM and things like that, because that is an underrated but highly needed part of your business. And yeah, glad to have those assets in my corner for sure.
Yeah, there's so many hats to running a business now. I'm always like, back in the day, we didn't have to worry about this and this and this, but in this day, running our business requires wearing lots and lots and lots of
Yeah.
different hats that were not really required previously, but now are absolutely necessary. So,
Yeah, I mean, I was married to my accountant, and I had to fire him and get a new accountant because,
oops.
Now he's just number one cheerleader, but that's cool. He does a great role there. So,
But it's the same husband.
same husband. Yep.
Oh, okay, good. Because my first husband always teases it's good to get the first husband out of the way. It's like,
Oh,
okay.
maybe. I'll let you know in a few years. But so far, we're 16 strong. So.
This is good. And I see you're in your booth. I think
Yeah.
it's also good for people to know what is your setup, and then also a corollary of that. What was the evolution of your setup? Where did you start with your setup?
Oh, yeah. I love this story. I actually have a YouTube video that people seem to love. It's in the style of MTV Cribs. And that's because when we built this studio, we had the opportunity to build out our basement. And in doing that, I carved out a special studio space in the house where I was able to work with Tim Tippett and some other audio engineers to create a double wall, an entire studio space. At the time, we were also recording a podcast, my daughter and I, called She Sounds Like Me. We took a break from that with some other things that were going on. But since she was also working, we wanted a space that was both colorful, creative, and vibrant, and welcoming and comfortable to be in all day, both of us. Here and there, and then also have the capabilities to film for the show. So it's a fairly large space, 12 foot by 12 foot room, fully, it's got all the bells and whistles. We've got, it's soundproof in the house, so it's great to come down here and just scream, but solid core wood door, triple pane glass windows. The walls are double sealed insulated, so it's not necessarily a booth, and I'm grateful for that. My claustrophobia is grateful for that. As far as mics, I've got a few in here. I use the Sennheiser 416 mostly. I also have the TLM 103. I use a MacBook Mini now, which I love. She's a racehorse, dual monitors. I'm on the Apollo Twin as my audio interface, and I use Adobe Audition. All the links, all the connectivity, hardwired, all of that, and a crispy new camera that I'm liking. It's very sharp. So that all feels really good. We've been in this space for about 4 or 5 years now, but before that, I did have an ISO booth. And it did the trick, right? We were just in the position my daughter was 5 when she started, and we fit great in that space. And now she's 13 and gaining on me. So I'm glad we have the room to accommodate. But when I first got started, I was working in a space we called Skid Row Studios because it was the nastiest 2 old mattresses leaned up against a wall, insulated with moving blankets. It was ratchet, and it worked. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have allergies that bad, because I would have never gotten started. No, but the evolution is always there, no matter where you start. If it's a closet, I had the shittiest gear. I didn't know what I was doing at the time, so. And then with the jobs that came, I was able to reinvest back into the business. And that's something that I always tell folks, like, you don't need the newest and greatest to start. Figure out if this is what you really want to do before you invest. And then as it goes, do reinvest in your business. Because gear gets you far. And if you feel good in the space that you're in, everything else can go away and you can just focus on your work, right? And so here we are, and I'm loving it.
Fantastic. I love Skid Row Studios as your
Skid Row Studios, baby. It was nasty.
That's great. Well, that's a good segue to your full origin story. You mentioned that you got started in broadcast, like studying broadcast, and then just cut to the chase of going to work and broadcast. Were there other ingredients? Like what else did you do?
Oh yeah, girl.
What
You know
else?
me.
Yeah.
I live a big life, and I got a hell of a story to back it. I won't bore you and your friends and fans with the full throttle. We need cocktails and some time. But like I told you, I grew up in Chicago, and in the city, I was DJing. I kind of turned to music. Music was always so strong for me. I was like an actual turntable DJ first, and that led me into always wanted to go into broadcasting and radio. I wanted to share music with people. I wanted to tell the stories of the musicians, and I wanted to do that on a larger platform. So radio broadcasting was really where I started after a few years of radio broadcasting and realizing, well, I realized there was no money in it later.
Wait a minute.
Before that, in all seriousness, I had a very tragic event happen that I won't get into here, but it was a situation that nearly killed me, and what it did do was it took my voice from me. I had to immediately leave the city and kind of find solace and peace and safety for myself and my soul in a very far off place. That's what brought me to Colorado. I packed up everything. I dropped out of school and I moved to the middle of nowhere on the edge, literally the crest of the Continental Divide and Steamboat. I kind of hunkered down. I taught myself how to snowboard. I brought all my turntables and my records and kept DJing. And then from there, finding my strength on the mountain was what really got my voice to come back and to trust myself and to trust my body and trust other people. I get choked up about it if I go too far down this description, so I'll just leave it at that. But you know, when you figure out that you have such incredible internal power, and it's just you're the only one that can turn that on, and if in all seriousness, what doesn't kill you does make you stronger, and that was never more true for me during those years. And so through riding, I got my strength back. I got my, my sass back, and I applied for a job on the local radio station, and they took me on. I did the afternoons. I did the 420 radio hour in Colorado, playing Bob Marley every day. And really just got my groove back. And it was through that realizing, my voice is resonating with people. People would see me all over town and be like, oh, you're the girl on the radio. Yeah. And so long story short, waved all the way around. I realized there was no money in radio, and also that I didn't want to be a snowboard bunny for the rest of my days. I took some opportunities to move into Denver, to Boulder area, and then I actually came out to Atlanta for a boy and a job, and neither one of them worked out. So I got a better job and a better guy, and then I left his ass and went to San Francisco to run a record label. All sorts of disconnected bobs and weaves. My husband calls me a gypsy today for that reason, because I just was always exploring. I stayed and lived in Los Angeles for a long time, San Francisco for a while, ended up coming back to Atlanta. And it was there I took a job in, I met my husband running nightclubs, and nightclubs turned into marketing, but it also brought me into this radio space with the local nightclubs. My voice, I was told at the time, could attract a wide cross-cultural audience. And so I would be the voice for promoting the urban hip hop nights. And I would also be the voice that was promoting the super poppy or techno and house electronic music nights. 2 different radio stations, 2 different audiences. I was glad to be able to connect with them both. And that's when people started asking for me again and again on paid gigs for radio spots here in Atlanta. That parlayed into a marketing agency, and then I became the global marketing director of a beauty brand, which was one of our clients at the agency. As you can see, nobody's path to this is the same, is direct. It can be as disjointed as our lives are, and you can still have success in the end if you put keep your eyes on the prize. For me, I was kind of all over the place, working in this corporate environment for about 4 or 5 years. My daughter was 4 years old at the time. My husband was a stay-at-home father. I was never home to see my daughter. And it just smacked me in the face one day. And I said, if I can market myself like I market these other brands, then like I can be unstoppable. And if I can market myself in voiceover, if this is actually a thing, let me do some work. Funny story, and I know you like the woo, so I'll try to just keep this part quick. But I'm a strong advocate of manifestation and the power of, your mind, your mindset, and gratitude. And so I signed up with a woman named Jen Mazar, who is a self-proclaimed manifestation master. I took her manifestation master's course when I was at my wit's end in this career and didn't know, not this career, the other career, marketing, and working for corporate. And I just didn't know if this was going to be a viable opportunity. I was looking at some other creativity. And then towards the end of our time, I Googled voiceover conferences USA. 4 days later, VO Atlanta was happening, and that was less than a mile from my house at the time.
Wow.
I was like, okay, this either is like some sort of scam or something. There's no way it was that kismet. I went to VO Atlanta, and my mind blew. It was back when Gerald was running it, and my eyes were wide open. Like, this is an actual career people are making real money at, and it's not a one size fits all thing. There are so many different lanes. There are so many different tracks. Like, I didn't even know that I had been doing voiceover and being paid to do voiceover for 10 years prior to this, and that this was actually a viable career. And so that's when I made the connection, was like, I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off. And I did. It was a very, a lot of consideration with my family. I was the breadwinner. My husband had gone back to work, but it meant, leaving a major corporate job, which was draining my soul, and just betting on myself and investing in myself. And that was scary for a family, with a 4-year-old. It was the best decision I ever made. People told me that in the first year you'd make, maybe if you were lucky, if you went full time, if you really hustled, if you got representation, if you were on the pay to plays, if you marketed yourself, maybe you'd make 30 grand. Maybe. The first year I doubled that. The second year I doubled the double. And the third, and it's been 6 figures ever since. And I think that's really in part to having the aptitude of, well, the grit and the gusto, and maybe the effort attitude to just place all your chips on yourself, but also having the business acumen and the marketing know-how to move the needle and just increase my productivity 1% every day. Just learn something different. Just move the needle just a little bit more, and it's paid off.
Yeah, that's amazing. And we always talk about, at the dojo, we talk about ABC, art form, business, community, and how they all work together. I think sometimes when we come up as artists, we buy into that creativity is not business and business is not creativity. And the fact is, it's all creativity. And if you want to make a living at anything, it's business.
Yeah.
And so when you lay all these things that, from this angle of going into, you're like, what? Hey, what? But then looking back, you go like, oh yeah, no,
All of that
that's what
prepared
allowed
me
this.
for what
Yeah.
this is, all of that prepared me for entrepreneurship and for the 90% of the no's that we get on a daily basis, and to have that thick skin and to still show up for yourself every day, and to know that, like, there are opportunities out there. It's just, are you going to get up and go get them? And I'm so proud of myself for seeing that through. I'm proud of my family for believing in me and supporting me through that. And connecting with this incredible community for which I would not be where I am without them, without people
Yeah.
like you.
Yeah, yeah, like us, yeah,
Like us.
all of us together, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think that's one of the cool things about this about this work that there's other things you can go like, oh, wow, look at that happening. But you can press your nose against the window, or you could just come in
Hmm.
and people are like, hi, what's going on? So
Just
it's
try.
great. Yeah. Yeah. Um, what do you think? We're talking about having lots of ingredients, but what do you think the top three ingredients in your success have been? You've mentioned a lot of things, but how would you define it?
Um, Tenacity, for sure.
Hmm.
Talent, yes,
Hmm.
but and not to be like three T's, but like what was coming to mind was like tact. There's
Mm.
like there's a way in which you can approach this career, this industry,
Hmm.
these clients, um, the space in which you present yourself, especially as you get to a more successful place. Are you giving back? Are you being gracious? Are you appreciative?
Hmm.
Are you respectful? You know, are you a champion of others? And I think that that tact is so important in life. But this is a personal, peer to peer career, right? And so you're only as good as your word and in the way in which you carry yourself. And that can't really be taught. You have to be, that has to be like innate in you. When it comes to, especially when it comes to dealing with your clients, your agents, your reps, etc., and other people in the community, man, they need the respect and the tact to, I don't know, it's like to want to keep working with you.
Hmm.
And so you can be as a full speed ahead, ball busting babe as you want to be. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you're an asshole, nobody's going to want to work with you again.
That's one thing I say. We have sort of mindset rules of the dojo, rules of voiceover, and then we also say, and these are rules to practice, but not adhere, but not necessarily the only one rule to adhere to is don't be an asshole.
Yeah, like I mean
So
it's hard for some people.
they usually don't go very far. That's what I've
No.
noticed in this
Yeah.
business. You
Yeah,
usually don't
and
go
you know,
very
word gets around if you are. So like is
far.
that what you want to do? No. We're all so
No.
lucky to be working in this career and this job
Mm.
to use our voice as a method of like that's it? I mean, yeah, this gear and stuff, but like, wow, what a gift this job is. What a gift this life is, this career is, this community
Mhm.
is. So showing up with that kind of tact, that
Mhm.
reverence of appreciation is key, and it's definitely helped me build relationships over the years, keep clients, and build friendships that'll go lifelong. You know, so
Mhm.
I think those are definitely part of the success. The marketing helps too, knowing a thing or two, but even that's changing. So like, you know,
Mhm.
what will never change is who I am and how I show up.
Yeah. So I love that. Tenacity, talent, tact. Really good.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I don't know if you believe in big breaks because sometimes things happen suddenly, but more often it's sort of that like overnight success. But what was your big break, or how would you define a turning point?
Um, honestly, and it's one of it's one of my most special bookings, which was before I really had an agent. I had one. It was a regional, and I
Hmm.
didn't really feel like I was not an asset for them at the time. I
Hmm.
was still so green. But I was on V123. In fact, I just looked. I've been on Voice 123 since 2011 or something
Wow.
crazy like that.
Wow, that's
Like
powerful.
way, way long time. And I was always scanning because that was, at the time kind of the method of really one of the only methods when you're super green is to kind of and it wasn't what it is today, which I'm still a proud member of, by the way. But I auditioned for the opening sequence of the X Games on Voice 123 for ESPN. They were
Mm.
looking for a new opener. In fact, I replaced the guy that was represented by Atlas at the time, and I was like, yeah, buddy, this no-name chick is pushing you, big shot from Atlas, out. I won't say his name. He's probably a doll. I think we connected years later, and after he realized I had taken the opening of the games for the next 3 years. But it was so incredible to me and so important because snowboarding in the mountain is what brought my voice back. The games were everything. So the fact that the opening sequence, oh my God, it's still so beautiful.
Wow.
And it was all, in all the big channels, NBC, ESPN, and replayed on the affiliates. And it was so, that was the thing. That was it. That was like, that's when I knew I had something. And it was actually the first time I had really dropped into my full, I want to say my normal natural register, which is, as you can tell, is a lot warmer for a female voice. And for a lot of my early part of my career, like Nancy was helping scrub off, I thought I had to be this like real pretty girl voice, and it wasn't me. And this was the first time that the me booked it. And it was low and it was gravelly and it was gritty and it was all the gravitas in the world, but it was also so connected because this was everything for me. Snowboarding was how I got my strength and my voice back. So the fact that the X Games put me on, and snowboarding, opening, it's everything to me. That was it. And then I was able to take that piece of work and say, hey, I would like further representation.
Have a little something to bring onto the table.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And not long after that, I think about a year after that, I think I ended up taking on ACM as a management team, and they opened the door for some incredible opportunities. Even though we're not together today, I'm still incredibly grateful for them. And so, I guess booking the games.
That sounds like
They sent me a skateboard and some hats, and like I got all the swag is around the studio because I'm like, that was it.
yeah, no, that sounds like the picture in the dictionary. Dictionary was a thing that we'd open a book and there would be pictures next to the definition, but like the picture of the dictionary of Big Break, like on so many levels,
That was
so
it.
many things
And
coming
honestly, I was
together.
so shocked that ESPN, like the X Games, would be booking through Voice 123. Even today, I'm like, but there are some good jobs on there. Don't sleep on the Voice 123. It's just a matter of how you position it.
That's really cool. I think you mentioned how long from starting your VO to making your full living that you made the decision, you jumped off. You in your first year were making like what people like 60 grand is a
Yeah.
living, right?
And
So
I'm not too shy about that because I think that we often don't know what real projections look like. And I love a good challenge. Yeah, tell me
mhm,
it's 30. Tell me
yeah,
that. Tell me and then watch me blow past that.
yeah. I remember that. I remember the discussion. It was a Christmas card the second year I had representation with Nancy, um, and I wrote next year six figures, and behold, it
There you
was.
go. That's right. That's right. So sorry, I cut you off there. What was the question officially? My
Oh,
color's on.
how long was it from starting? Like it sounds. How long was starting VO to making a full living? And everybody has different journeys on this, right?
Yeah.
Like people at the highest levels. A few years ago, we just had Stephen Goard, who lives in Atlanta. Um, but he was, a couple of years ago, he was doing both jobs, full-time job and
Yeah.
full-time VO, and
I
now.
still know incredible talent that are at the top of their game that are like you would be floored if you knew was still working their full-time job just because they can, because they've
Mhm,
structured their life in a way where dual incomes are like, I
mhm.
mean, who doesn't love that if you can manage it, right? For me, it was more of a rip the band-aid off
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
But 18 years I counted from if I started, I didn't go
Oh,
full time until
right.
I was 37, 38, and I'm
Okay.
47 now. So
It's
until I went full time and ripped the Band-Aid off. And that was, dabbling here and there. And yes, my journey was erratic.
Mhm.
And as I mentioned, I didn't even know this was a full-time option.
Right.
Um,
Yes,
but
I
yeah,
think in sharing your story, because you started in broadcast and that what you were doing voiceover but didn't know it was called that. So
yeah.
yeah,
I know
no,
it sounds
that's
crazy, but I would say like, yeah, once I realized it was a full-time thing, I want to say like 6 weeks. And then I was like, I'm fucking out of here. Pardon my French.
that's it. That's okay. Yeah. No, I think it's really, really important. I love this part of this 21 questions because it take building a sustained successful voiceover career is a combination of
Yeah.
step by tenacious step and
Yep.
also trusting that in a second the helicopter can come and here we go. And then you have to be ready to go step by tenacious step. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's happened too. So the
Yeah,
chop
yeah,
helicopter.
yes. No, that this is why we talk about it the first day at the dojo. What would you say you're proudest of in your voiceover career?
I'm proudest of bringing my daughter Sila into the fold. I
Mm.
did not know it at the time, but because she was so young and I just thought it might be cute and fun if she read scripts, and then turned out she really liked reading scripts, and then she came off the bus every day asking to read scripts, and then this is back in Skid Row Studios,
Mm.
and then she started booking, and then she started booking like crazy, and then we started podcasts and blah blah blah. Now she's 13, but really,
I think you're award-winning voiceover daughter, right? If I
yes.
remember where I met
Yes, with her award-winning voice of the mother.
her.
Yes, and she says hello, by the way. But it's really that, especially based on my own trauma that I mentioned. It was as a mother, it's the most important thing is to teach my daughter that her voice matters, and that she can stand up and speak out and be heard. Full stop. That's the most, this whole career could go away tomorrow. And I know that I've integrated that into her entire
Mm.
being and proven to her that her voice has value, and not just because she's getting paid, because she's getting paid, and thank you, because college is expensive.
College is
And
expensive. Yes,
um
my boys dabbled, and now we're like, ooh, okay, yeah.
and then in conjunction with that, because I have that experience, I was able to work with Nava to create the best practices for children in voiceover, that came out
Mhm.
last year with the help from Karin Gilfrey, obviously, and Jennifer Sunbell. And,
Mhm.
be able to create resources for the next generation to make sure that we're adequately supporting them and protecting them in
Mhm.
this space, especially in this day of AI, which kudos to Nava for all their hard work that they do. I think they're in DC actually today. So,
Mhm.
that's my proudest moment in this career. The
That's
jobs will come
amazing.
and go, the brands, the mailbox money, which is also very nice. But
Mhm.
her knowing that and sharing this incredible community, these friends, these opportunities with her, best part.
That's powerful. The mission statement of the VO Dojo is aligning people with the power and possibility of their voice.
Love
Full
that.
stop.
Love that.
And I always say it's a great way to make a living, and when you're doing it, it becomes a way of life. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and really,
everything
like
you said
we
really
we should
embodies it.
all be embracing our own inner power of our voice, of our ability to storytell, to share our thoughts, to speak up when something is
Mhm.
not right, in the room, in front of someone, with a friend, on a stage. If you're given the opportunity and have the platform to do so, because you never know who's listening, you never know whose life you're going to change, and shutting yourself down and keeping yourself quiet and playing small, only serves someone else, and will
Mm.
never
Wow.
serve you in the way that it could. So I'm just grateful for that, and that
Wow.
she's the best part of living. So how awesome. I got a great job. Great kid, likes the job. She doesn't love it like this. She was like, I'm gonna be a voice actor when I grow up. She'd care less about most animation auditions. She's like, ugh, whatever. I'm like, you know how many people would kill for these?
Mm.
She preferred a rip and run now that she's 13. But hey,
Mhm.
I'm just glad she's got the foundation there, and that's so powerful. It'll serve her well.
Yeah. Now let's flip this over because
Yeah.
there's always the other side of it. What's your biggest fear or challenge in your VO career?
Well, AI, of
Hmm.
course, like anything, I am, even though I do feel like it'll be a long time before the commercial space or the political space or the spaces like that I tend to work in, like live announce, are going to be eaten up by AI because I think there's still a very human connection there. It's getting better every day. So again, it's so important that legislation is being passed. And of course, again, with the help of NAVA and so many other folks that are working hard for that. That's a big deal, but also equality for women in VO. I'm part of an incredible organization called the Building Doors VO. Check them out, buildingdoorsvo.com, led by Christy Harst. I think we're maybe 40 women, and everyone is in there because they believe in equality for all voices,
Hmm.
but really to make sure that women's voices are heard in spaces they belong in. And as the, sometimes largely more than 50% of the consumer base, we deserve a seat at the table. There should be equality overall. And so the organization that she has created is really bringing awareness to that. And I'm a forever champion of women. So
Hmm.
just so feel so supported in that way, and am so proud of the efforts she's put forward and the group has put forward to making an impact there.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
because it is a real challenge. You saw that. I just had a Super Bowl spot pulled for me by a male voice in the last 4 days right before it aired, and I felt it. That was going to be a career highlight for me, and so I felt,
Mm-hmm.
this was not the first time I have lost out to a man in the room, but hopefully with some of this awareness, we can work towards changing that a little bit.
Yeah. But I know my big break was a groundbreaking one too, being a voice on a Citibank campaign at a
Mm,
time when female voices were not on major financial things.
yeah.
So yeah, that's really really important. But what why we are here. So yeah. Um, okay, we kind of touched on this as we opened. I answered for me, introvert or extrovert. How about for you?
Oh, extrovert all day
Extrovert
long.
people.
Ah, extrovert all day long. However, what is the subcategory of an extrovert that like literally cannot take anymore? And I think most of my empath extroverted female friends, especially, or female identifying, um, you know, our nervous systems are shot right now. I think
Mhm,
that everything going on in the world, it's a lot. It's a heavy, heavy space
mhm,
to be an extrovert in. And so I am definitely finding some solace in introverted and quiet times. I know that these days I'll go to a conference and I'm like, yeah, okay, I need a minute. So the
mhm,
extrovert has a limit. Thanks,
mhm.
perimenopause.
Buff.
Sometimes it's just a little too much. But yeah, I'll be the first one in a room and light it right up if I can. So
Good, good, good. Well, and I love that question because I think like the continuum of how did your career unfold? I think we all are required to find some medium as we extroverts step into our box alone, and
yeah.
introverts have to push out. Yeah, so
That's
it's
one of the reasons this industry specifically is so beautiful,
mm,
because you can flex between the two. I mean,
mhm.
I'm perfectly content talking to myself in a box all day, especially if I'm getting paid. But how lovely that there are so many awesome opportunities to connect either virtually,
Mhm.
socially, or in person or online. There's so many incredible opportunities for conferences, for meetups. I've met some of my closest friends in the entire world in this industry by going and participating in activities and finding my community within the community. and by and large, it's been nothing but positive. So, and supportive, my goodness, so supportive. So, I welcome that, even especially for the introvert that is like, knows that they have to. Don't worry, it's safe out there.
It's okay.
I know.
It's good. It's good. Okay, so we kind of touched on this a little bit. If you could do VO from anywhere, where would it be? Like when it's time.
It's like it's time. It was time 2 years ago. I had the hell out of here. You can't hold me down. My entire scrolling feed, other than politics, is camper vans, styled out camper vans. I want like a badass camper van with a studio built in so that I can just, and also can we ship it to Europe, because I definitely don't want to be here. I'd rather be, and I'd like to caravan through Slovenia
You
and
mentioned
Croatia and Switzerland.
gypsy.
Yeah. I just get me to Europe in a caravan, and like a camper van
Awesome.
with all the bells and whistles and solar and a Starlink or something to keep me connected. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
That's where I'd rather be.
And you say it and it's done. Like
And
I
so
can
she
see it.
is.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
My kid
Uh,
knows it's the plan. So is my husband, actually. I'm like, you can either fit inside and roll with me and the dog, or we'll come back from time to time. Visit us.
That's fantastic. What would you say your VO motto is?
Uh, well, it's kind of what I try to remind myself all the time. There's two things which I say to myself pretty much in life. It's like, go big or go home. Like, if you're not all
Mm,
in, if you're not going for it, are you living? Are you loving living? Like,
mm,
I'm kind of an all in person in that way.
mhm,
There's that, but then I also remind myself it's a marathon, not a race, chill
mhm,
out. And I'll answer the last question that I know you have coming, because it's
mhm,
what I would have taught my younger self.
mm,
Is that like, your cool is cool enough. You don't need to be anything
mhm,
else, man. And actually, Nancy taught me that, drilled it into my head. Like,
mhm,
why are you trying to put on something else? You're cool. Your brand of cool is cool enough. Just sit
mhm.
with that.
Yeah,
Rock out.
yeah.
Nobody can copy that. So like, quit trying to be sounding like somebody else, or you know.
Hmm.
And that's always stuck with me. I wish I
That's
would have known that early on. I would have probably pivoted a lot faster.
mm,
But
yeah,
you have to learn it all. You have to learn it, and when you're ready to learn.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And cool can be replaced by nice or whatever you are
Yeah.
enough. Yeah, one of our OG dojo members, Jason Vanderbeek, 6'8", one of the nicest, most talented, wonderful people in the world. Um, when he first started, he would he would just keep on being super nice, and I'd be like, "You are nice. You are nice. You don't have to put frosting on your cupcake. You don't have to do that. You are nice." So yeah, that's really cool. Um, yeah, and I'm just reveling in that. Like, yeah, that's right. We are.
Yeah, you're
Um,
cool. You're
yeah.
cool enough. Your style is good enough. The way you present, the way you show up on mic, that's you. Own it. Like, you don't need
Hmm.
to be something you're not. Not in this business.
Yeah.
Uniqueness is actually what's going to set you apart. And
Yes.
it's in style, you know?
Yeah. And what is a typical day for you now? Or I know one of the beauties of this job, of this way of life, is that a typical day. Are you kidding me? What is that? But how do you set up your rhythms? How do you set up your rhythms for your work? And I call it work-life harmony.
Yeah. When I'm on my A game, I'm waking up and doing some breath work. I used to practice Kundalini yoga quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the post-cancer journey, which
Mm-hmm.
you and I are close about.
Mm-hmm.
Proud breast cancer survivor here for anyone who
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know, just like my babe here, Tish. So doing the breath work and really getting centered in my day is still important, even if I don't do a full sit down Kundalini session.
Mhm.
It's, it's moving the lymphs, moving and almost like a full jaw chest opening massage, just to try to get the fluid moving and open up my vocal cords and warm my body up first.
Mm.
I try to always have some fresh air, some outside exercise, walk the dog, kind of get my head right. I love, my kid says I'm crunchy or a granola mom or something like that because I have all my tinctures and my potions and stuff, and
Mhm.
usually have some really good herbal tincture or tonic for breakfast, like as a
Mhm.
nice vocal warm up. And I love to get into the gym, either doing strength training or yoga most days of the week. I'll take some breaks throughout the day, just make sure I'm super hydrated. I love, again, the flexibility this job gives us. My time is blocked to spend time and get my daughter to all the places that she needs to go. Pro hack. Never tell them that you got to do cartwheel. No, you just have a session. I have a session at 2:00, so I can't, sorry, I'm not available right now. I have a session. That like is a
Mhm.
mindset shift. You're not running carpool. No, girl, you got a session. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I have the flexibility to do that. So usually my day gets diced up a little bit, but I do like to work in blocks. I will segment usually the morning on auditions, then any jobs that are due, anything that I need to turn for clients. I'll spend a little time in the afternoon. I'm trying very hard to stay off social media as best I can. But of course, staying present, staying relevant, especially on LinkedIn and platforms like that, is important. So I've set timers, 30 minutes a day, and that's it.
Mm. That's huge.
Yeah, and try to remain, focused as best I can. And then do some invoicing towards the end of the day in a block that feels good, and then usually finish it up with another round of auditions or jobs that have come in. Because of my East and West Coast representation, we see things all through the day, all through the night, and I'm on several other regional rosters, agents with agencies and production agencies and things like that. So kind of coming at us from all angles. I'd say daily I'm probably submitting between 20 and 30 auditions on a super busy day. Um, on kind of an average, it'd be about between 15 and 20, and then a few jobs here and there.
Mhm.
If I'm lucky, a couple of sessions too to work around,
Mhm.
and a bunch of good get up, get out of this space, get some fresh air, reset, re-cleanse, and take good care of that mental health and that body.
Mhm. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, Leah, thank you so much for taking this block of time and sharing your story and your insights and your joyous, powerful, contagious energy.
Oh, thank you.
We're so looking forward to having you join us for Ask the Sensei, where you and I will be available to answer people's questions and be moving them forward. So
Yes,
thank
I can't wait. I mean, one of the greatest joys in this opportunity in this career is that, and Kelly Buttrick told me this once early on in my career. She said, you in this industry, you have a North Star. And you may also have someone to your south, but there's going to be people that are in your east and west pockets that are right on that same level with you. And so if you look at this business as a compass and the community as a compass, you
Ooh,
can
love
really
that.
always reach up to somebody else, and you can always pass down to somebody else. And there will always be someone on your left and right that might be sitting in the same position you are, experience, representation, etc. But to give them, you can still learn from them too. And so if we continue that cycle in a way that's very generous and kind and loving and giving and supportive, I mean, sure, we all have something unique to offer, right? And there's something to learn from everyone. So I hope that what I shared today was relatable and someone else finds some inspiration in that. And I really look forward to spending our next session together and paying it forward to others.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. We'll see you soon.
Sounds good.